In the deep silence of space, far from the blue glow of Earth, a meeting was taking place inside a giant silver station orbiting a dying star. The station was called the Galactic Council Hub, and every major alien race had sent their representatives there. They were not gathered for celebration or trade. They were gathered because of fear. At the center of the shining hall, thousands of alien eyes stared at one hologram, the image of a human soldier standing on a ruined battlefield. His armor was cracked, his face was tired, but his eyes burned like fire. The council members whispered in their strange voices. "The humans cannot stay," said the tall being made of smoke and light. "They are too violent, too unpredictable." A creature with silver scales slammed its tail. "They fight even when peace is offered. They win wars they should not win. They learn too fast." The hall buzzed with tension. The air smelled of fear. No one could deny what they had seen. In just 1 century, humans had spread through half the galaxy. They were small, soft, and short-lived compared to most species, but somehow they survived everywhere, from frozen moons to burning deserts. When other species gave up, humans adapted. When others surrendered, humans fought back. And when others died, humans rebuilt. It was not hate that the council felt. It was something deeper, respect mixed with terror. The meeting continued for hours. Every alien spoke of the same thing, the battle on Vetra 9. That was the day the galaxy realized what humans truly were. Vetra 9 was supposed to be lost. The local defense forces had fallen. The alien invaders, the Zalari, were known for destroying entire planets. But then the humans arrived, a small force, no heavy ships, only determination. They fought for 7 days and nights. They refused to retreat. And when their supplies ended, they turned their own damaged ships into weapons. No one knew how they survived that battle. The humans called it, doing what we had to. The rest of the galaxy called it madness. The council leader, an ancient being older than most stars, floated forward. Its voice echoed through the chamber. "We must make a decision today. Humanity must be restricted. For the safety of all." The word restricted hung in the air like a curse. On the far edge of the hall, a single small figure stood up. It was the human ambassador, Captain Elias Ward. His uniform was neat, but his eyes were heavy with exhaustion. He had attended many council sessions, but today, he could feel the weight of every alien gaze pressing down on him. "So this is it," he said quietly. "After we helped defend your worlds, after we bled beside your soldiers, you call us dangerous." A dozen alien eyes turned away. "You are dangerous," said the being of light. "You are chaos wrapped in flesh." Elias took a slow breath. "Maybe. But without us, Vetra 9 would be ash. Without us, the Zalari would be knocking on your doors." "Which is exactly why you must be banned," hissed another voice. "If humans ever turn against us, no one can stop you." The chamber fell into silence. Even the air seemed to freeze. Elias's jaw tightened. For a moment, he thought about arguing, about defending humanity one last time. But deep inside, he knew it was useless. Fear had already won. When the final vote was called, the result was clear. Humanity was to be banned from galactic space. No more colonies. No trade. No alliances. Earth and its people would be isolated. The decision echoed through the stars. On distant worlds, human workers and soldiers were pulled out of alien cities. Their ships were escorted back to the borders of Sol. The humans did not protest. They simply nodded, packed their things, and left quietly. But the silence of humanity was not peace. It was the sound of something waiting. Months passed. The galaxy calmed, or at least tried to. Without humans, wars became fewer. Conflicts ended faster. Yet something was missing. The exploration missions slowed. Innovation faded. Even the soldiers felt less brave without the humans beside them. Then, strange rumors began to spread. Ships on the edge of the galaxy reported seeing unknown vessels, silent, black, moving faster than light itself. Whole pirate fleets disappeared overnight. An alien station that once hunted humans was found abandoned, its walls marked with a single message written in human script. "We remember." The council ignored the rumors at first. They believed humans were still trapped in their system, rebuilding quietly. But the messages kept appearing, always the same two words. "We remember." In the darkness of space, Captain Elias Ward stood aboard a hidden station near the edge of the Milky Way. Around him were thousands of human ships, silent, waiting. The humans had not vanished. They had been preparing. "The galaxy thinks we're gone," he said softly, staring out at the stars. "But they forgot one thing." A young officer beside him looked up. "What's that, sir?" Elias smiled, a cold, human smile. "We don't stay down for long." Outside the window, hundreds of engines flared to life, lighting up the void like a new constellation. The next chapter of humanity's story was about to begin. Months had passed since humanity was banned from the galaxy. The stars beyond Sol grew quiet again. Trade routes were open, but something was missing. The aliens had peace, yet it didn't feel like peace. It felt like silence before a storm. Inside the Galactic Council hub, the members congratulated themselves. They believed the danger was over. Humans were gone, locked behind their borders. No more surprises. No more wars started by reckless human captains or desperate colonies. But far away, near the cold edge of known space, something strange was happening. In the dark space between systems, a small ship drifted silently. Its lights were off. No transmissions. To any sensor, it looked dead. Yet inside, dozens of humans worked in silence. Captain Elias Ward stood at the center of the command deck, staring at a hologram showing hundreds of red dots, each one a ship hidden somewhere in the void. "All units are in position," reported a young officer. "Phase 2 is ready." Elias nodded. "Good. No signals. We move when I say." He looked out at the stars again. He had seen too many wars, too many betrayals. Humanity had always fought for survival, against nature, against each other, and now, against the entire galaxy. The ban hadn't broken them. It had united them. The humans called their secret fleet Project Eclipse, a network of hidden colonies, stealth ships, and deep space factories. They built it under the cover of silence, far from alien sensors. Every ship was designed for one purpose: survival. Back in the Council hub, rumors continued. A trade ship vanished near the Perseus Arm. Then another near the Rim Worlds. Patrols found only empty wrecks, clean, silent, as if their crews had simply vanished. Some aliens whispered that humans were hunting again. Others laughed it off. "They can't even leave their system," said the scaled ambassador from Drither. "Their technology was primitive compared to ours." But the laughter stopped when a Zalari cruiser, one of the strongest warships in the galaxy, disappeared without a trace. A week later, the ship reappeared near a human colony beacon, drifting, powerless. The only thing left on its hull was a human symbol, a single handprint in red paint. Fear began to spread once more. The council called another meeting. The same alien voices filled the hall. "They're violating the ban," shouted one. "This is revenge," cried another. "They're testing us," hissed a third. The leader of the council, a being older than all of them, spoke in a calm but heavy tone. "Find them. Find the humans before it's too late." But finding humans was never easy. They had a talent for hiding where no one else could live. Far beyond any mapped territory, Elias Ward was studying intercepted alien communications. His engineers had cracked dozens of galactic codes. They listened silently to everything. The Council's fear was not a secret anymore. A soft voice broke the silence. "Captain, message from Earth Command." Elias turned. A hologram flickered to life, showing the face of Admiral Carter, the new commander of Earth's defense network. "Captain Ward," she said firmly. "The Council is growing nervous. They think we are planning an attack. Elias smiled faintly. Maybe we should let them keep thinking that. Carter's expression didn't change. Our orders are not to start a war. Not yet. But we will not stay weak either. Keep Project Eclipse hidden. Let them search shadows while we build. The transmission ended. Elias leaned back, thinking. He wasn't angry at the aliens anymore. Not really. Fear made them ban humans. The same fear that had always followed humanity wherever it went. But part of him knew something bigger was coming. Something worse than politics. That night, while the ship floated through the void, the scanners picked up something strange. A huge signal, far beyond human or alien range. It was pulsing like a heartbeat. "What is that?" asked the young officer. Elias narrowed his eyes. Unknown source. Not human. Not council. The pulse grew stronger. Then, suddenly, a voice broke through the static. Deep, mechanical, cold. "This galaxy is ours." Every system on the ship flashed red. The lights dimmed. The signal spread like fire, jumping from satellite to satellite, reaching the core systems in seconds. On the council hub, alarms screamed. The ancient leader's body flickered in fear. It's not human," it whispered. "Something else is coming." The galaxy that had united to ban humanity now faced a new enemy, one far older, far darker. Back on his ship, Elias watched as data flooded in. Thousands of unknown ships were appearing on long-range scans, black, cold, and alive. For the first time in years, he smiled. "Looks like the galaxy needs us again," he murmured. The young officer looked at him, eyes wide. "Should we tell Earth?" Elias shook his head slowly. "Not yet. Let's see what they want first." As the alien machines moved closer to the galactic core, every world began to panic. The council called for help, but the humans didn't answer. Not yet. They waited, watching, preparing. Because deep inside every human heart, one truth burned brighter than fear. When danger comes, humanity always returns. And this time, the galaxy would finally understand why they had banned humans in the first place. The galaxy was burning again. It began at the edge of the Orion Belt, small mining colonies going silent one by one. Then entire planets stopped transmitting. Patrol fleets were sent, but none returned. The Galactic Council tried to hide it, calling it communication problems, but everyone knew the truth. Something terrible was moving across the stars. The unknown ships, cold, black, and silent, attacked without warning. They didn't communicate, didn't demand anything. They just destroyed. Whole cities vanished in seconds. Even the powerful Zalari fleets couldn't stop them. Their energy weapons passed through shields like smoke. In less than 3 weeks, 10 systems were gone. Inside the council hub, chaos filled the air. The grand chamber that once discussed politics now shook with fear. "They're unstoppable," shouted the scaled ambassador. "Our weapons do nothing." "We must evacuate the core worlds," cried another. "This is extinction." The council leader tried to remain calm, but even its glowing form flickered with panic. "We need a plan. We need—" A small alien voice interrupted. "We need the humans." The entire hall froze. The silence that followed was heavy and sharp. For years, the word human had been forbidden inside the hub. But now, with death spreading through the galaxy, even the proudest species began to wonder if they had made a terrible mistake. "The humans won't help us," said one. "We banned them." "Maybe they will," said another softly. "They fight when no one else will." After hours of debate, the council finally agreed. They had no choice. A single ship was chosen, fast, stealthy, unarmed. Its mission, to enter human space and deliver a message. Far beyond the galactic border, Captain Elias Ward sat aboard his ship, watching the stars. It had been months since the mysterious signal first appeared. Project Eclipse had doubled its strength. Hidden stations were complete. The fleet was ready. But Elias had not yet given the order to move. He wanted to understand the new threat before showing humanity's hand. "Sir," said his officer, breaking the silence. "We have an incoming vessel. Small, no weapons. It's broadcasting a council code." Elias frowned. On screen, the hologram appeared, a small alien craft, drifting toward them slowly. It was damaged, its engines flickering. Elias ordered the ship to bring it aboard. When the airlock opened, a thin alien stepped out. Its skin was pale, its eyes wide with fear. It fell to its knees. "Please," it said in a trembling voice. "Help us." Elias said nothing for a moment. "The council sent you." The alien nodded weakly. "The enemy, they are machines. They consume everything. No diplomacy, no mercy. We tried to stop them but..." It paused, trembling. "We need humans." The words hung in the air. Elias walked closer. "You banned us. You said we were too dangerous." "I know," the alien whispered. "We were wrong." For a long time, Elias said nothing. His crew waited. Then he turned to his officers. "Prepare a link to Earth Command. Tell them it's time." The alien looked up in surprise. "You'll help us." Elias's expression was cold and calm. "We'll do what humans always do. Survive." The news reached Earth within hours. Across the solar system, old fleets were reactivated. Massive war factories came back to life. The sound of engines filled the void once more. The ban was broken, not by choice, but by necessity. Admiral Carter stood before a sea of soldiers in the great command hall of Luna Base. "For years, they feared us," she said, her voice echoing. "They thought humanity was too dangerous. Maybe they were right. But this time, our danger will save them." All around her, screens displayed burning worlds and falling fleets. The unknown machines, later named the Devourers, were spreading fast. Elias Ward's fleet was the first to move. Thousands of human ships jumped from hiding, forming a dark wall between the invaders and the core systems. When the aliens saw human signals on their scanners again, they couldn't believe it. "Humans," whispered the council leader. "They actually came back." The first battle was at the Rim Gate, a massive wormhole station linking dozens of systems. The Devourers attacked in silence, thousands of black ships swarming like insects. Human fleets arrived minutes later. "Lock weapons," ordered Elias. "Sir, they're not responding to hails." "Then we don't need words." The first volley of human missiles streaked through space. For a moment, the stars themselves seemed to explode. The battle raged for hours. The Devourers were fast, powerful, but they had never faced humans before. Where machines calculated, humans improvised. Where the enemy advanced, humans adapted. When their ships were crippled, they rammed the enemy head-on. The council fleets watching from afar could only stare in disbelief. By dawn of the next galactic cycle, the Rim Gate still stood, half destroyed, but still there. Humanity had done the impossible again. When the council leader received the news, it whispered quietly, "They saved us." But Elias Ward, standing on his cracked bridge, didn't smile. He looked at the wreckage of human ships around him and said softly, "No, not yet. This is just the beginning." As the surviving ships gathered for repairs, a strange transmission played across the galaxy, the same cold, mechanical voice as before. "You cannot stop us. We will learn. We will adapt." Elias stared into the darkness. His eyes were tired, but they burned with fire. "Then learn this," he said under his breath. "Humans don't stop either." Outside, the stars burned red as the next war for the galaxy began. The galaxy held its breath. The Devourers, the mysterious machine fleet, were relentless. Every time humans or alien ships attacked, the machines adapted. Shields that once blocked missiles were bypassed. Weapons that once worked were now useless. Every strategy failed faster than the last. Captain Elias Ward watched the data streams on his bridge. The human fleet had fought valiantly at the Rim Gate, but the enemy's evolution was faster than anything they had ever faced. "They learn from every hit," said his officer. "Our attacks only make them stronger." Elias rubbed his eyes. "Then we stop fighting like we used to. We fight smarter. We make them think differently." The humans began to experiment. They sent decoy ships, traps, false signals. They used alien ships as bait to see how the Devourers reacted. Every small victory was hard-earned, but it worked. The machines were clever, but they were not human. For the first time, the Council fleets began to trust humanity. Alien admirals who had once scorned humans were now watching their tactics closely. "This is remarkable," said a Dretharian admiral over the Council comlink. "We never thought humans could adapt this fast." Elias didn't answer. He was already moving on to the next step. Meanwhile, on a distant colony world, civilians watched the sky light up with black streaks, human and alien ships moving in formation, facing the Devourers. Children hid in shelters, listening to the hum of energy weapons above. Farmers, miners, and engineers had never seen a battle like this, yet they whispered one name: humans. The stories spread fast. On every planet, from the smallest mining station to the glittering core worlds, humans were no longer just soldiers, they were legends. "They fight not because they want to, but because they have to," said one alien historian. "And in that, they are unstoppable." Back on the front lines, the Devourers made a terrifying discovery. Every time they attacked humans head-on, their ships were destroyed. Every time they tried to predict human moves, humans countered unpredictably. The machines were designed to calculate patterns, but humans created chaos. Elias watched one Devourer vessel adapt mid-battle. Its weapons changed angle, its shields reformed faster than before. But humans responded instantly, adjusting their formations. "We can't beat them by strength alone," Elias muttered. "We have to break their logic." The fleet began using a new tactic: divide and confuse. Human ships scattered, drawing machines into traps. Alien ships followed the humans, learning to fight in new ways. For the first time, aliens and humans fought as one force, united not by politics, but by survival. The Council hub monitored the battle with awe and fear. For years, they had banned humans out of fear. Now, they watched them save the galaxy, and realized that the ban had been a mistake. But not all humans were soldiers. Far behind the battlefront, spies and engineers worked tirelessly. They hacked Devourer signals, sabotaged their supply lines, and planted devices to track their movement. Captain Elias knew the real war wasn't just in the skies. It was in understanding the enemy, predicting its next evolution. One night, while reviewing data, Elias noticed a strange pattern. The Devourers were beginning to target human leadership first. Every assault focused on his ship and key command points. "They're learning," said his officer nervously. "They know you lead them." Elias's jaw tightened. "Then we make them think they know me, but they don't. We fight shadows, not ships." The next engagement took place near a dense asteroid belt. Human and alien ships lured the Devourers in, weaving between massive rocks. Missiles detonated, sending shockwaves that disoriented the enemy sensors. It worked. The Devourers stumbled, losing ships to collisions and explosions. Humans used the chaos to strike the heart of the fleet. For the first time, a significant number of enemy vessels were destroyed in a single strike. Elias smiled faintly. "One step at a time. They learn, we adapt. That's the human way." As the battle ended, silence fell over the survivors. The Devourers retreated, but they had changed. They were evolving faster than before, learning from every human tactic. The Council hub sent a message to Elias, almost trembling. "You have saved us, but now we fear what you can do next." Elias stared out at the stars, his expression calm, but his mind racing. Humanity had returned, not just as warriors, but as a force the galaxy had never truly understood. "They banned us once," he whispered to his crew. "Now, they will see why humans are too dangerous to ignore." And far away, deep in the darkness of space, the Devourers prepared for another strike. The galaxy would burn again. But this time, humans would be ready. The Devourers were not just machines. They were a force, moving with precision and purpose, devouring everything in their path. The longer the humans and aliens fought, the more obvious it became. The enemy had a central command, a heart, a brain, something controlling the swarm. Captain Elias Ward studied the data on his bridge. The Devourers had adapted to nearly every human tactic, but one thing remained constant. Their central hub had never left the outer rim. "It's time," Elias said quietly. His officers turned to him. "We strike at the core." A collective breath was held. This was no small mission. The Devourer hub was a fortress of black steel, surrounded by thousands of ships. A direct assault would be suicide. "Then we do it the human way," Elias said. "We improvise." The plan was risky. Humans would split into small, fast strike groups, infiltrating the heart of the enemy while alien fleets created diversions. It was chaotic, dangerous, and unpredictable, but it was humanity. As the human fleet jumped into the outer rim, alarms blared across the Devourer network. Sensors detected hundreds of small ships moving independently, attacking in waves. The machines calculated. They adapted. But humans had a way of breaking patterns. Elias led the first strike group, a cluster of fast, lightly armed ships. They darted through debris fields, asteroid belts, and black voids, evading detection. Behind them, larger human and alien forces created massive diversions, drawing attention away from the real target. "This is insane," muttered one young officer. "We can't fight them all." Elias's eyes burned with determination. "We don't fight them all. We fight where it matters." Inside the Devourer core, strange energy pulses flickered. Their central intelligence was aware of the intruders. It shifted ships like a living organism, trying to block the humans' advance. But humans were unpredictable. They did not attack logically. They attacked creatively. Ships split, feints were made, false signals sent. Missiles flew where none were expected. The Devourers struggled to keep up. Finally, Elias's strike group reached the core, a massive station floating in darkness, bristling with unknown weapons and energy conduits. It pulsed like a heart. "Prepare boarding pods," Elias ordered. "We go in." The humans launched in waves, slipping past shields and defenses. Inside the station, the corridors were cold and silent. Machines moved silently, calculating and attacking, but the humans had prepared for this. They used EMP charges, hacking tools, and rapid maneuvers. Elias led his team deeper, encountering more machines, but each was slower to react, miscalculating. Human improvisation was a language the machines had not learned yet. At the heart of the station, a massive sphere of black energy floated, the hub of the Devourers. It pulsed, sending out signals that controlled every ship in the swarm. Elias studied it for a moment. "This is it," he whispered. "Destroy this, and the swarm collapses." The team set explosives and hacking devices. Time was short. The machines outside were breaking through the outer defenses. Elias activated the sequence. A countdown began. 10, 9, 8. Machines swarmed the inner chamber, but the humans fought with everything they had. Weapons flared, sparks flew, and alarms screamed. 3, 2, 1. A massive explosion rocked the station. Energy cascaded through the corridors. The black sphere shattered into pieces, sending shockwaves through the network. The Devourer fleet outside flickered, slowed, and finally fell silent. For the first time in months, the galaxy had a moment of peace. Elias and his team emerged from the wreckage, battered but alive. The alien fleets outside cheered, even over the comms. The Devourer's swarm had collapsed. Their network was gone. The machines would never fully recover. Back at the council hub, the leaders watched in astonishment. They had feared humans for centuries, banned them for their dangerous adaptability, and now, they had witnessed humans save the galaxy. The council leader floated forward, almost trembling. You have done what no one else could. You have saved us all. Elias looked at the council. We didn't do it for praise, he said calmly. We did it because survival demands it. Because humanity always fights when it must. A murmur ran through the chamber. For the first time, aliens saw humanity not as dangerous, but as necessary, unstoppable, and essential to the galaxy's survival. Yet Elias knew the fight was not over. The Devourers had been slowed, shattered, but pieces of their network still existed. And somewhere, deep in the void, other threats waited. As the humans returned to their hidden bases, he turned to his officers. We've won this battle, he said. But the galaxy is bigger than any one war. And humans, we never stop preparing. Outside the ship, the stars stretched endlessly. Humanity had returned. They were dangerous. They were unstoppable. And now, the galaxy had no choice but to respect them. In the darkness of space, a faint pulse echoed, distant, slow, almost imperceptible. A reminder that the Devourer's shadow was not entirely gone. Elias smiled faintly. Then we get ready for the next one. The galaxy was quiet, but not peaceful. The Devourers had been defeated, for now. But their attack had left countless systems in ruin. Worlds were burned, colonies abandoned, and trade routes shattered. The Council realized that winning battles was not enough. The galaxy had to be rebuilt, and humanity was at the center of that reconstruction. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the stars. Every planet they passed reminded him of what had been lost. Cities in flames, debris floating in orbit, families gone. Yet humans never lingered on despair. They repaired, rebuilt, and prepared. That was what made them dangerous. That was what made them unstoppable. We need to form alliances, Elias said to his officers. The Council can't do this alone. And neither can we. A young officer looked up. Sir, the Council trusts us now? Elias shook his head. Not fully. They're scared. Fear isn't trust. We need to earn it, by action. Back at the Galactic Council hub, debates raged. Some species wanted to ban humans again, fearing their power. Others wanted to ally fully, recognizing that humans were the only force capable of defending the galaxy from threats like the Devourers. The Council leader, older than the oldest stars, floated silently. Its glow dimmed with worry. We needed them, it admitted. We feared them, yet without them, the galaxy would have ended. How do we live alongside a race that is too dangerous to ignore? An ambassador from the Dretharian fleet spoke sharply. We survived with humans, yes. But their unpredictability, it is frightening. Can we control them? Can we guide them? No, admitted another alien voice softly. And perhaps that is why they are humanity. Meanwhile, Elias received a covert report from a deep space station. Strange energy signatures were appearing far beyond the Devourer remnants. Not enough to form a fleet, but unusual, alien, and intelligent. They're not done, he said quietly. Something else is out there. Something bigger. The Council sent envoys to meet with Elias. They needed guidance, reassurance, leadership that humans seemed to naturally provide. Yet Elias knew the Council still feared him. They had banned humans once, and their fear ran deep. We don't rule, he told them firmly. We fight when necessary. We protect. We survive. That is all humanity does, and it's enough. The Council's representatives nodded, though uneasily. As humans began helping rebuild, strange reports emerged from the outer rim. Colonies thought safe were disappearing. Entire communication grids went dark. But the attacks were different, slower, calculated, almost as if the new enemy was watching before striking. Elias studied the data. The Devourers weren't the only threat. This is something new, something learning, something patient. He called a meeting with his top officers. "We've faced impossible odds before," he said. "The galaxy wanted to ban us, to ignore us, because we are too dangerous. But every time they did, humanity returned. And this time, we will prepare before the fight begins." The officers exchanged glances. The weight of responsibility was heavy, but they trusted Elias. Humans always found a way. Back on Earth, Admiral Carter observed the reports from the Council. Humanity's role in the galaxy was now undeniable. The ban had been lifted, not by choice, but by necessity. Humanity had proven its value, yet Carter worried about the politics that followed. Some alien factions wanted to control humanity, to harness their skill for their own purposes. Others wanted to fear them, to stay distant. But humans had never been controlled, and never would be. "We don't ask for permission," Carter said, her voice firm. "We act. We adapt. That is our way. And any who try to bind us will fail." Meanwhile, Elias and his fleet continued their patrols near the outer rim. Reports of strange energy fluctuations grew. Ships disappeared without warning. Some of the Devourer remnants seemed to move strangely, almost alive. "Sir," one officer said, eyes wide. "The Devourers might have left a seed. Something dormant, waiting." Elias nodded. "Then we treat every shadow as a threat. We prepare. Humanity survives by acting, not waiting." For the first time since the Devourer's defeat, Elias allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had returned from the edge of exile to lead the galaxy. They were feared, yes, but they were necessary. Dangerous, but vital. Unpredictable, but unstoppable. And somewhere, far beyond the mapped stars, the new enemy watched, patient, silent, calculating. The galaxy would need humans again, perhaps sooner than anyone realized. Elias whispered to his crew, eyes on the dark expanse ahead. "They thought banning us would save them. They were wrong. The galaxy is ours to protect. And we never forget who we are." The stars stretched endlessly before them, and humanity moved forward, ready for the battles no one else could fight, ready to shape the future, and ready to show the galaxy why humans had been too dangerous to ban in the first place. The galaxy was on edge. For months, strange signals had been appearing in the outer rim, untraceable and deadly. Rumors of new attacks whispered across worlds. Humanity had rebuilt fleets, repaired colonies, and trained soldiers, but even Captain Elias Ward knew this threat was different. It was intelligent, patient, and far older than the Devourers. Elias stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the holographic map of the galaxy. Red dots marked attacks, black dots marked unknown energy readings. The pattern was chilling. "They've learned from us," said one officer. "They adapt faster than the Devourers." Elias didn't answer. He had known this moment would come. Humanity had been banned once for being too dangerous. Now, they were the galaxy's only hope, and the galaxy would test them again. The Council had sent envoys to join the humans in a combined command. Alien admirals, once wary and distrustful, now fought side by side with humans. Fleets of every species moved as one, guided by human ingenuity. Elias addressed the Alliance. "We face something bigger than war. This is survival. Not just for humanity, but for every species in the galaxy. We fight together, or we die alone." The fleets jumped into hyperspace, converging near the outer rim. There, amidst a cluster of black nebulae, the new enemy revealed itself. Massive ships that pulsed with strange energy, moving like living machines. At the center, a colossal structure floated, a black sphere, almost organic, radiating a dark light. The Devourer's core had been only a fraction of this. This was their origin, their hive mind, their god. Elias clenched his fists. "It's time." The battle began with chaos. Alien weapons collided with strange energy shields. Human missiles darted through gaps, exploding with precision. Ships of every size engaged, but the enemy was different. It did not retreat, it did not surrender. Every attack fed it, every strike taught it. Elias led the human strike group directly toward the core. His ships moved unpredictably, weaving through enemy fire. The aliens followed their lead, inspired by humanity's tactics. "This is insane," muttered a young officer. "We can't destroy that thing." Elias's eyes burned. "We don't destroy it with brute force. We destroy it with human ingenuity." Inside the enemy's core, strange pulses reacted to their approach. The black sphere began to fragment, but new energy surged into it, forming structures faster than they could destroy. It was alive, learning, evolving, and anticipating. Elias knew they had only one chance. "Prepare the override pods," he said. "We go inside." A small boarding team of elite humans and alien engineers entered the sphere. Inside, the walls pulsed with energy, almost like veins. Alien symbols glowed in patterns unknown to any species. The team worked furiously, hacking, placing explosives, and recalibrating energy flows. The sphere pulsed violently. It fought back, sending shockwaves that threw the boarding party across the corridors. One human officer shouted, "It's alive!" Elias responded calmly, even as sparks flew around him. "Then we show it what humans do to living machines." With a precise combination of hacking, sabotage, and explosive charges, the sphere's core began to destabilize. Pulses weakened. Energy faltered. Outside, the enemy fleet hesitated. For the first time, it was vulnerable. Then the sphere reacted. A massive shockwave erupted, sending human and alien ships spiraling. Systems failed. Warnings blared. Elias held the bridge controls tight, keeping the flagship steady. "Now!" he shouted. Every boarding team member activated their devices. Energy cascades collided at the sphere's core. The black structure trembled, fractured, and exploded in a wave of dark light. Across the battlefield, enemy ships lost control. Black hulls collapsed inward, energy pulses went dark, and the swarm that had terrorized the galaxy fell apart. Silence returned. For a moment, the galaxy simply breathed. Elias watched from his bridge. His uniform was scorched, his face smeared with grime, but his eyes burned with triumph. The enemy was gone, for now. Humanity had not only survived, they had saved every species in the galaxy. The Council, observing from their hub, could only whisper, "They were right, we were wrong. Humans were too dangerous, and that danger saved us all." Elias turned to his officers. "We've won today. But the galaxy is bigger than one battle, one war, or one enemy. Humans will remain vigilant. Always." An alien admiral, his scales scorched but his pride intact, nodded. "You are extraordinary. Perhaps too dangerous for us, but essential nonetheless." Elias smiled faintly. "That's humanity." In the following months, humans helped rebuild devastated worlds, repaired trade routes, and trained allied fleets. But they did so without demanding control, without conquering, without bending others to their will. They were respected, feared, and admired, the ultimate force of balance in the galaxy. And far beyond the known stars, whispers of other ancient machines lingered, dormant, watching, learning. Humanity had defeated one threat, but the universe was vast. Elias stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. "Let them come," he said softly. "Humans never run. Humans never surrender. And humans always return." The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Humanity was dangerous, unpredictable, and unstoppable, and that was exactly what the universe needed. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and humanity moved forward, guardians of a galaxy that had once feared them. The legend of humans had begun. And it would never end.